Hey everybody, it's Moonhorse again. Coming in just before this video with a little bit of information. We're talking about the University of Utah healthcare program. A friend of mine is not doing well and needs you guys, if you can, to look into this program, donate if you can, help out if you can. They're looking for, donations, people who can do live kidney transplants, the whole thing. This is a very good cause, and it's very, very important. So if you guys have anything you can do to help, or any way that you can help at all, please do. It would mean a lot to me. It would mean a lot to everybody. It's not just me. It's about everybody. Everybody's in this together, so we should all put together to actually do something. Like, if you're interested, or you have any way that you can possibly get in touch with this, or if you're in the area and you can do something to help out, you can contact them at uofulivingdonor.org. Or you can contact them at the phone number 801-587-8816. If you're interested in helping my friend specifically, when you get through to somebody or you're talking to somebody, ask for Corinne C. Powell. That's who needs the help right now. It's this person who asked me to kind of help out, not just for her, but for everybody. So if you want to help out, you want to contribute to a good cause, you want to do something good, really help these people out. They could use it. Alright, so now on with the show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time to do more of the stories of this guy and, the things he does.
So these are some more stories of Palabeard. This is called Qualities of a Beard. Magical. By Sighing DM. And again, if you hear this, hey, how's it going? I hope you like my horrible reading. I think it's good. Also, I'm kind of drunk. Hey. Ugh. Okay. So I haven't posted in far too long, and for that I apologize. Life's been rough on me as of late, between finals, splitting up with my fiancé, and trying to find a new place to live, and I have little time to enjoy or contribute to the pleasures of neckbeardery. All that aside, I bring you a new tale of Palabeard, the Mini-Moon. Palabeard managed to nab himself a girlfriend, a woman who looks like she could be his sister, and certainly doesn't measure up to any high standards of attractiveness, yet is a very nice person. We'll call this girlfriend Palafriend. Here's a theme. We're all at Writers Club one day, and we're settling in, and Palafriend asks Palabeard, who's leaving to get food, if he'll get her something to drink, which he replies, "No, if you want something, you can get up and get it." I assumed he was joking and would bring her something. After all, she puts up with his ridiculous antics and suffers under his personality flaws. Palabeard returns with food and a drink only for himself, and the conversation ensues as follows. "You didn't get me anything?" "No, I told you if you want something, go and get it." "But I'm really thirsty. Can I at least have a drink of your milk?" "No, it's mine. Go get your own drink and stop bothering me." At this point, everyone at the table is looking around in stunned silence because no one can believe that a boyfriend of any kind would be so rude to their girlfriend, much less him, who would always talk about how to properly treat women. Now, I'm not the best guy ever. I have a lot of flaws. But at least if my girlfriend were to ask me for a fucking drink, I would get her one. So I leaned over to Palabeard and whispered, "Palabeard, why don't you just get her something to drink?" And he snorted and chuckled a mouthful of food before choking out, "She's just lucky to have a guy like me to begin with. She should be happy I give her attention at all." Before going back to an attack run on his sub. Then reading his subpar semi-erotic work, which he had written despite having zero sexual experience. About halfway through, I felt so bad for Palafriend that I quietly offered to run and get her something to drink, as I was on my way to get water anyway, and she politely refused. Moral of today's story? When neckbeards may masquerade as nice, caring gentlemen, they are, at their core, egocentric, abusive assholes who have no sense of self-worth, and very little common decency when it comes to having an actual relationship with a human who cares about them. Until next time, y'all have a nice day. Next time is now. Next time is now. We're going to do another one. Long time no post. I know I promised more of the stories of Palabeard, but life caught up and I found myself busy again. Time to start with, I'm now... Oh, okay. This is all... I don't think he wants me to read this after the last one, so I'm just not. I said before that I met Palabeard in a writers' club and failed to present an adequate narrative of his antics. That wonderful social and wonderful. Let's try again. I said before that I met Palabeard in a writers' club and I failed to present an adequate narrative of his antics in that wonderful social group. Please keep in mind it's a writers' club, so most of the people there have varying degrees of social awkwardness. However, most of them understand where the line is and not to cross it. Palabeard, of course, does not. My first year in club was my first year at college, and as such, I said very little and simply listened to the stories people had written or were sharing. Palabeard had this thing for writing epic poetry, which ended up being dry, repetitive, and far too dense to actually enjoy. But any attempt from anyone to help him improve his works was met with a cry of, "Oh, you just don't understand it," or "I thought it might be too far above you," or some other bullshit like that. So the end of the freshman year rolls around and we have elections for club president. I run because, why the fuck not? I mean, why would an introverted, insecure, and overwhelmed person not make for a great president? Guess who runs against me? Palabeard. We give speeches. I talk about how the club is a safe space for writers to share their work and want to help keep that running, and he drones on about his qualifications, such as being an education major and therefore able to manage children, and how he was much older than me, and also, it'll make a great addition to my resume. Through his entire speech, he looked down on everyone and tried to give me what I imagine he thought was an intimidating stare. In reality, it was simply borderline creepy as he attempted to imitate a growl which required his great blubbery chin to curl as his yellow teeth beamed from his putrid mouth. Ew. Needless to say, with only two options, many voted to vote me through as president and risk an inexperienced person in office over an insufferable neckbeard. My win would forever ingrain me in Palabeard's mind as an inferior underclassman who tricked everyone into electing me. So as president, I make a few simple rules. 1, no verbal discussion of politics, and 2, don't be a dick. Palabeard constantly tried to break both. I managed to double the size of the club, so we had a large number of new people. Went from 12 to 25. So our meeting room was pretty cramped. Palabeard would constantly whine about, if only the president would get us a bigger room, or, God, I can't move, it's so hot in this tiny room. Maybe if he had lost a few pounds, he wouldn't be so fucking bad. Anyway, eventually I fought with the campus life office and got us a bigger room. Palabeard began hunting for a mate. He found himself lonely and desiring the woman. And obviously, the best hunting ground was the club. Palabeard has a very specific requirements, though. 1, she must be pro-GMO. 2, she must be pretty. 3, she has to be liberal. 4, she must like at least 75% of the same things he does. Seriously, that's his role. And 5, she must not drink or party. Well, that cuts out all of us, kids. That's a good wine. I assume you can see why his hunting was normally fruitless. But he managed to find 2 new members who met the criteria. But did he just, ask them to a coffee, make friendly conversation? No! That'd be ridiculous. In fact, when I gave him that advice, when he asked me about women, he replied, "Oh, that'll never work. If you try that, you'll just die alone." Okay. So instead of doing the normal thing, he would stare at them for uncomfortably long amounts of time, stand really close to them during snack breaks, and then spam them on Facebook Messenger. He ended up driving away both of the girls and neither ever returned to the club. Classy. Not only did he drive away new members that I worked so hard to draw in, he constantly tried to bring up politics despite everyone telling him, "Dude, stop." He would also try to order new members around, which meant I had to constantly step in and remind him that he's not an officer of the club, and the club isn't a draconian dictatorship anyhow. Palabeard would often share his stories in the club. Many of them used excessive verbiage and see-through plots. He also had the annoying habit of eating loudly while others read and used his hideous cackle while reading ahead in the works people posted. Stories are posted on the Facebook page and then read by the author. He would also laugh at bad jokes or things he found funny in his own stories. It's like laughing at your own joke, but worse. He would also try to compare his universes to mine often. I also write, but I rarely post because I like to make sure it's nice and tidy. And he would try to argue that such and such race in his space universe is stronger than mine, to which I would just shrug because, it's not fucking real. Not to mention, it's basically comparing apples to oranges, since every fictional universe has its own governing rules and styles and whatever. Also in Club, we have a member who posts TV scripts, and we read them together as different characters. Palabeard would always call dibs on characters, and instead of reading the fucking lines, they would just keep the vague point and then say whatever the fuck he wanted, which isn't helpful to the writer at all when they're trying to see how things flow. He'd also try to read in a cringy accent, British, Australian, something like that. They were always terrible. The real Jim came after he invented Lady Charlotte, but we already told that story. Needless to say, dealing with him is nearly driven me insane. Now I have a whole year to deal with him and garner more stories for you. But we already read those too. I read these all fucking out of what's the word I'm looking for? Continuity? No. In line. They're not in line. There's a word for that. I don't know what it is. I'm a little fucked up. Anyway, thanks for listening, you guys, and thanks again, Sighing DM, for writing these wonderful stories of Palabeard. He sounds like some people I used to know. So I hope you guys come back for more of whatever the hell this is, and I'll see you later.
I'll give you a little kiss on the head. There you go. Okay, bye-bye.